So I'll be making a cap like this. Okay, not a white one, a blue one. Okay, so the first thing then to begin with is I'm going to show you how to make the brim. All right, so the brim usually is about 9 inches or 9 1/4. So around here, right, to around this, and so from here to around here, normally 9 1/4 inches. All right, so I've got my paper unfold. Okay, so 9 1/4, I would do half of that then, since the paper is unfold. All right, so I would measure, so about 4 3/4. All right, so I measure 4 3/4. I start, this is the folded part, so I put the inch measure there and I measure 4 3/4. All right, 4 3/4, and I then draw a line at that point. Okay, now I want to know now the width of the brim. So from here to here, I measure from here to here and I get 3. All right, so I want that 3 now. So I go from the edge of the paper and I measure 3 there. Okay, now I just fold that we have measured, and I just fold again because I want enough paper to work with. All right, or enough material. So I get here to here, we get 3, and then another 3. Let me see, another 3. Okay, so now I can cut this piece of paper now, and this is going to be my working piece. Okay. And I cut here. Okay, so this piece now is what I'm working with now. Okay, so now we've got our working piece. We're going to now measure 3/4 of an inch from the edge here, this is the open edge I'm talking about now, right? So measure 3/4 of an inch in and draw a line. Okay, from the top of the paper, measure 1/2 an inch down and draw a line. Okay, now this here is a parameter that we're going to be working with. We're not going to go outside this boundary here. All right, now we want to get the curve at the bottom of the brim. Okay, so we want this curve here. Can you see? We want the curve. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working at now. So what we do here now is this here, we had 3 inches here, which would be the width of the brim. So we do a point there. We make a point right there at that 3-inch margin there. Yes. Then from down the bottom here, we just come in by about 1 1/4 inches. If you want a nice curve, come in by about 1 1/4 inches. Put a point there. All right, then we can make a nice curve down here. All right, so we're going to be passing through this point. We're going to make our nice curve around and make it better. Okay, so we're going to make a nice curve around, and then we're going to cut it. Yeah, so we're coming through the point and making a nice curve around it. Then we can cut this. Right, so we cut this out and we cut here, we should have this curve around the hat. Okay, I'm not cutting it right now. I'm going to go to the top, because up here now we want this here curve as well at the 2 sides. Right, these 2 sides, we want that curve or that shape. We want that shape. Okay, so I'm going up to the top now to get that shape. So let's look at the paper. So from here now, you see where the 3-inch line is? we want a slanted line from there to come up here. So we're slanting the line now. Okay, so slanted line. Now we want a curve. We do not want a straight line here. We want a curve, something like so. Okay, can we see that? Okay, so that's the shape we want up here. Okay, so what we're going to do with this line now, we have to change it because we want a curve. So from that line, we're going to come in, maybe just come in, starting with where the midpoint is. So about here, starting with where the midpoint is, we're going to come in by 1/2 inch. Okay, so come in by 1/2 inch. Okay, so come in by 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're gonna start making our curve. So from here now, which is out here, we're gonna start making our curve. So, and we're gonna go straight back up to the tip here. Okay, so right up back to the tip, we're gonna make our nice curve. Okay, can you see that? So all of this part here will be cutting away because we don't need that. We need a curve. All right, we need something looking like so. So now we can cut out our shape now. Okay, so we cut from around here, follow the dots that you just made, and we carry on all the way up to the top, and then come along this curve here. Oh, and that should do it. Right, let's look at it now. Okay, what does it look like? A brim? Looks so to me. Okay, so now we have got this. We can do a little bit more curve. You know, just clip away a bit more, like about a 1/8 of an inch. Just a tiny bit away, just to get a curvier shape. Just cut away a little bit more, and then you'll have it. So that's about 1/8 of an inch here. Okay, and there you go. You've got your brim. Now, how do I know it's okay? Now, this here was taken from an old hat. Can you see that? So let's see. If I put it on it like that, see? Got it? Let me see. See? There. So you have a perfect brim. All right. So that's it. So that is for the brim. If you have, some kind of hard material at home, you can cut your own brim. Yeah, you can cut your own brim using this technique. All right. So that's for the brim. So let's move on now to the top of the hat up here. All right. Okay, now let's consider the head circumference. Say the head circumference is 24. All right, we're going to divide by 6. So 6 into 24 will give you 4. The reason why I'm dividing by 6 is because I need 6 pieces. 6 pieces to complete the hat. 6 pieces to make it. All right, so look at this. We have 6 pieces. Right, they're just joined. So we need 6 pieces to make the hat. All right, so that's why I divide by 6, so I get 4. So make sure that your paper or your material is more than 4 inches wide. Yeah. So let me see. my paper, no, not so. When I fold it into, fold my paper into two, I must get, let's see, at least 3 inches, because it's now folded. All right, so when it's open, you're to get 4 plus allowance. All right, but when it's folded, you're to get 2 plus the allowance. All right, so I folded the paper now. Okay, so I'm going to put the measurements in. So remember now, the head circumference is say 24. You divide by 6, you get 4. All right. So because I'm folding this paper now, I do not want 4 anymore. I want 2. Okay, so I now want 2, and I'm going to mark off 2. So 2 and 2. So let me just draw a line. Okay. Now I'm going to add on to this the stitching allowance. All right, so I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch. So my stitching allowance would fall there, come there, there. So that's my stitching allowance, and I'm going to just draw that line in. So now I've added on my stitching allowance. Okay. Right. Now you now want, so you've got the circumference. You now want the length of each piece. So you want the length from here to here. What length do we make this? We want the length of each piece. Okay. So I'm gonna show you now. So then, from the forehead here, where you want the cap to lie, to around the back, on the neck back, you'll get about maybe 14. All right. So from here around the neck back, we get 14. So then I'm going to do half of 14. So I'm going to do half of 14, which is 7. And I'm going to do it across there, make a line across. So that's the half of 14 for the length. The length is 14, and I'm going to do half of 14. And I'm going to add now the stitching allowance, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I can cut this out now. So that's the piece I'm going to be working with. Okay. Now I'm gonna find the half of this. I'm gonna fold fold the stitching allowance up. I'm gonna find the half now of this here, which is about 3.5, somewhere there. Okay, I'm gonna draw a line. I'm gonna draw a line at the half point, and then I'm going to also draw another line from the tip of my paper there at this corner to this half line mark there. Let's go like so. Okay, so now I'm going to be cutting that out. Give it a little bit of curl while you're doing it. Okay, that's a tiny bit. So this now is the side. This is how your side should look, and we need 6 of these. Okay, we need 6 of these, and that's why I have these cut out, already cut out. So already cut out, and now to stitch. Okay, so we need 6 of these. The brim, I've cut the brim out. Now remember, when you're cutting this part on material, you have to put the stitching allowance in around it and up here. All right, so the stitching allowance must be added onto the brim, because where is the brim? So the brim is there, but you're going to need the stitching allowance to stitch it. So it's going to be stitched like so, and around that way like so. So you need that stitching allowance to be added on. Yeah, I hope you can see. So you would need that. So it must be bigger than the brim itself. Okay, 3/8 of an inch bigger than the brim. And that's, I've cut it out already, and I'm actually ready to stitch now. So this here is, I cut this on the bias, and this is here for this piece that is going to be attached inside here. Okay, so this is for this. I've cut it from the bias. You just want the length or the circumference measurement to be able to know how much of this to cut. Okay, so I have gone ahead and I have zigzagged the edges. Zigzag the edges of these. Okay, now these are going to be turned under, so these are going to be in the inside of the cap. So these won't show. These won't show. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to be making a stitch. So like, let's see, I'm going to be stitching like so. Let's drop this to here. I'm going to be stitching along there. I'm going to be stitching along there, maybe about a 2/8 of an inch away from the edge. I'm going to be stitching, and I'm going to be doing it all the way down. Okay, it's a sort of decorative stitch, so I'm going to be doing all the way down like so. So I'm going to be stitching it, and I'm going to be using a different color thread, contrasting thread. So it's like this, if you can see. So I'm going to be stitching on each part. Okay, and then I'm going to be joining them, as you can see this stitch. Okay, and that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to start the stitching. Okay, so now I've stitched all around them, all 6 pieces stitched there. Okay, so now I'm going to join them now. All right, so this is how I'm going to do it. So just put them on top, one on top of each other like that, and pin it, and you're going to be stitching near to the edge. Now when you reach to the tip here, you're not going to stitch all the way up to the top. Okay, so you're going to stop about a little, maybe about a 1/4 inch away from up the top, right here. So just stop, all of them, you stop a little way from the tip. Okay, so you're going to add attach 3 of them together. So you're going to attach 3 of them. Okay. So attaching 3, and then attaching the other 3, and then we're going to join them. So these 3. So when we have attached these 3, then we join both sides together. Matching. Okay, and then these 3 pieces now. We're going to join these other 3 pieces together. Okay. And then this piece go this piece. So we have joined all three pieces together, and we put them side each other now, and we join straight up to the tip. Okay, so I've stitched them all around. See, I've stitched them, and now I'm going to do stitching across the top, but I'm clipping off a little bit up here so that I don't have any bulkiness. Okay, so I'm gonna be stitching across the top. So bulkiness at the top. Okay, cut my piece out. Okay, so going to be now stitching across the top. So see how I set it? The right side facing the right side. So I'm going to be stitching now all the way down and all the way around. Okay, all the way around. Okay. Okay, so I've stitched all around and I've joined both parts together now. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over. Stiff piece inside this area. Right, so stitched it. It's not inside here, really firm and nice. So now I'm going to be attaching it now to the hat. And I had the middle here. I marked them. So I marked the middle, and I'm now going to use one of those seam here for the middle. So you put it where you want it to go. I'm pinning it onto this. I'm going to pin it across. So I've pinned it, and now I'm going to be stitching. Around to from end to end. Okay, I'm going to stitch it on now. So I'm basing it on actually. So I'm basing on the rim onto the front part of the hat. Make sure you measure and put it in the center. You don't want it one-sided. Okay, center it. So I'm basing it on before I stitch. Okay, I've put a little tab onto the end. So just stitch a little piece of material, put onto the end like so. So when I'm touching it here, this is the piece that I'm going to be putting around the hat here. So the bias binding, that's it. So this is the bias binding, right? I'm going to be putting it around like so. Thanks for watching. If you like this hat, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and give me thumbs up. Thank you. Bye bye.